Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. As fall approaches here before long, I thought about doing a little project of Mr. Bumpkin. He is a rough out on the website of vankellycarving.com, and a fun little project for beginner, intermediate, or for those of you that don't carve very often. It would be a great project for you to get back in the groove of things. And so we're going to get started on this little guy, and let's get started. All right, so we're going to get started on him on this little project today, Mr. Bumpkin, and he's called Mr. B on the website. And so let's get started. We're going to take our largest V tool that we have, and we're going to undercut here, because you can see here the machine can only get in so far. And so we're going to take this and our V tool and start going around the bottom, around his so-called head of this little pumpkin. And pumpkins are a lot of fun to carve, and fall is I like fall of the year. I feel sometimes it's not so busy as the spring and summer is. But anyway, so we're just taking our V tool here, and we're working our way around this guy. And we're going to take our knife, and we're going to remove this wood underneath here, because we're going to put in some eyes here shortly. And you can get this project done in an afternoon setting or a weekend setting or whatever, whenever your time to carve is. Everybody's schedule is different. But as you approach, always make sure of your cuts here. And as you can see here with our pencil, we have smile lines that we're going to put in here shortly. And we're going to create the mouth here after a while, and the eyes. Take my V tool here and clean this up underneath here a little bit more. Leave him in the frame here if I can. All right, so now we're going to take our knife here, and we're just going to start cleaning up this guy, getting the rough out marks off of here that the machine made. I'm going to go to a little longer bladed knife where I can get more done. There we go. Nothing like sitting outside on a nice day making chips, or wherever you can make chips at. Coming underneath the hat here, cleaning up the area here underneath the hat. Get rid of that excess here, because when you paint this guy, now I use an orange type color, or pumpkin spice, or whatever color you'd like to use on them. I use yellow ochre on the hat. So any type of fall color you'd like to paint him, that would be good colors to do. So cadmium orange, things like that. And always be aware where that tool is going. It's called a pairing cut. Coming across here, we're going against the grain. keep going here, we're going to bury this pumpkin with chips. All right, we're going to just take this time and do the grunt work of getting all of the rough out marks off of our piece here. And then we're going to focus on the eyes here shortly, and the mouth, and so on and so forth. All right, now we're going to take our knife and we're going to come right here and we're going to make a cut to where it represents the smile line. Same type of cut we would do on a face if we were doing a study stick or anything like that. Okay, even with the pumpkin face, we want to keep this area very rounded. Even though pumpkin is a round object, as you're carving this, you don't want to make this area too flat. That way you lose your dental mound. Going right up the side of the nose here with my knife here, getting rid of all these marks. Dressing down the nose. Choking up on my knife where I can get better control. We're making these short cuts. You could do 4 or 5 of these in a row, you know, and set them out. Different expressions. A startled look, a smile, an angry pumpkin, whatever. It's your carving. But I would think it would be pretty neat to do 4 or 5 or 6 of these things in a row and have different expressions and different colors of their hats, things like that. All right. Take our knife here and just continue to working down this guy. Okay, I'm going to take my soft V here and kind of make our socket for the eye placement. Show you here in the camera what we're doing here. Okay. And jump across the bridge of the nose and do the same type of cut. You know, you could do this with a number 3 or 5 or 9 gouge, whatever will fit in here. But I'm just using this soft V to get us our eye sockets in. Then I'm going to take my soft V and run him right up the side here to create more definition in the bridge of his face. Okay, all I did was just run right up through there, okay, on both sides. All right, and then I'm going to take my soft V and create that little cut right there to divide and to create that bone area, because he is going to have a face on him, so we want to try to not give him a unibrow on a pumpkin. All right, so that's where we're at so far. Okay. All right. And we're going to create the eyes on this guy. So we're going to now draw in. You'll see here on our finished carving, we have the eyes carved in just like we would normally on a regular face. And so we're going to draw our two lines to represent the upper eyelid. I know it's hard to see because he's wearing a hat, but I'll show you here shortly. And again, a pumpkin is the type of a squash, and so everything is not going to be perfect, you know, so don't get hung up on this type of carving, this guy right here, because he is a pumpkin. He is going to be slightly off-kiltered some. And so I'm taking my V tool here. This is like a number 3/16 V, and cutting in the upper eyelid. This has a slight bend to it. You can see there in the camera. So that does help when you're in areas like this, especially with a hat. And now I'm going to start in and do the second eyelid. Jump across the bridge of the nose, come over here and do this. All right. And now we're going to come in and we're going to make 6 cuts for the eye. And 3 in the corner next to the nose, and 3 out here to the edge, and taking that and carving that in. It's kind of hard to see with that hat, but I'll try to show you here again when we get this cut put in. Creating the eyeball. Okay. Now we're going to come in here on this side and create this cut here for the eyeball for this side. 3 cuts over here, 1 and 2 and 3. Angle your knife and pop that corner out. And I'm going to revisit this corner over here to get more depth there. There we go. And taking my knife and put it right on top of that eyeball and setting that in there. Okay. All right, there as you can see. Now you'll notice here we're going to come in with our V tool, soft V, and soften up these areas here even more. Get rid of the sharp edges. Then I'm going to come in and put in the bottom eyelid. Okay. All right, I'm going to come back in here and revisit, get these eyes more depth to them. All right, so let's work up here now on the hat. Let's bring the wood down and create get this hat created here. Come up here and work on the top. Again, we're working against ingrain. We're working up against ingrain here. Always be aware where that knife is heading. Again, this is just an old hat, so it don't have to be perfect. He's out there in the field, out there in your garden, wherever, and or sitting on your porch, whatever it may be. Bringing my cut down to the rim of the hat, because we're going to put a buckle or a belt around this guy. If you want, now you don't have to. You could leave it as is, but I think, you know, I think it needs something there. And you could even put a troglodyte looking out. It's an old hat, it's got a hole in it, it's something living inside him, live inside that old hat is. Okay, so now I'm going to take my knife here, a shorter bladed knife, and just start removing the roughness again off of this. I'm going to get the number 3 here. Let's try this number 3/4 flat gouge. And to help remove the real estate off the top here. Again, we're working with ingrains, so make shortcuts with your tool here. Make sure that you're in control. That way it doesn't get into your hand. And again, always pay attention to where that knife is going. I want you to have fun carving. Don't want you to have to end up in an emergency room somewhere or a doctor's office getting a stitch or your finger glued back. All right? So, most of the time we know why we cut ourselves. So, again, less distractions you have, and don't carve when you're tired and whatever. But anyway, everybody's different, so just be aware. Moving to a smaller number 3 semi-flat gouge to get more control there on some of these areas. It seems like this is working better. So whatever tool works best for you, stick with it. And if you're getting good results with that tool, why, that's wonderful. Every time I sit down with you all, I always make sure my tools are buffed and ready to go, and kind of have a goal in mind when you're for that day of carving. What am I trying to do here? What am I trying to accomplish today? And the main thing is to accomplish it, to have fun. All right, now I'm going to clean up around where the hat and the rim, the flat of the hat and the stove pipe part of the hat meet. I'm just going to clean that up with a V-tool, because we're going to get ready to put a belt or a band around this guy's hat. Kind of dress it up a little bit. So right about in here, we're just going to, this is going to be a wide one. I think it fits this particular hat very well. Take little short strokes through here, make your way around until you connect where you started right there. Okay? Then to make the buckle, if you want to put a buckle, right there is a starting point there, the sides of the buckle. And you know, I like to come in on this one here. I did a little bit. I came in on the sides just to relieve that, to make that buckle stand out just a little bit from the band. All right, then I'm going to take my knife and make the inner part of the buckle. Just making a stop cut and taking that there and relieving the 4 corners. Okay, show you here in the camera. Okay. I know it's hard to see. We try to keep within the camera view here, but sometimes it doesn't happen. But be patient with us. We're still learning. All right, now I'm going to take and bring this down to the top, the hat, the stove pipe part of the hat, bring it down to the band or the belt here and show a little bit of this standing out on the hat a little bit. So I'm just taking my knife and bringing it down and then coming back through here and cutting. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, we would really appreciate it. It doesn't cost anything, just for you to hit the bell and leave a comment and a thumbs up or even a thumbs down, you know. Like I said, I'm still learning, still trying to be the best carver I can be, but we all are trying to make a difference here and keeping carving alive for future generations. And so we appreciate it. Okay, so that's where we're at right there. And you can see there all the way in the back there. All right. Okay, so let's do the edge of the hat. And let's clean up now the bottom side. You can see that's pretty rough in there. So let's try our number 3 flat gouge and see if that will do the job for us. So far, so good. Again, we're just working our way on around the bottom of the hat, because this way when you paint, it will be a lot easier on your brushes if you have this good and clean up underneath here. That way your brushes have, the bristles will have a smoother surface to work from, to work on. Okay, as we start winding this down, we're going to put the last piece in, and that is the mouth. As you can see here, this is just a smiling, just a simple little mouth there. And so we're going to draw a little happy mouth. And right there, see that he's even happy right there, isn't he? All right, then we're going to take our V-tool and cut in that smile right there. Now you could leave it just like that if you wanted to, but I don't think we're going to. I think we're going to add more action here to the mouth, and we're going to take our knife and put a stop cut right there, right on that line. And then we're going to take our knife and we're going to open this up, doing just like that there. See how that opened it up, created a shadow? And then you can take a U-gouge, whatever largest U-gouge you have, or soft V, and start right there in the center and make the deepest cut right there. And then start turning up, kind of like a crescent moon, and turning it like that to create a lower lip. Okay. And so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to deepen that right in there. Look like he's getting ready to say something, you know. Again, you're going to visit these areas little by little and just tweak things as you go. And oh boy, what fun, what fun. All right, I'm going to have him looking this way. That way he's looking around, seeing who's out in the field with him or whatever. Maybe he's talking to another pumpkin. Maybe he's visiting, you know. All right, so let's put in some nostrils. All right, I'm using a number 9 gouge here, and I'm just coming in from the bottom and creating a couple of holes. There we go. All right. And again, we're going to get rid of any sharp edges on the pumpkin. All right. Get rid of any marks and nicks that was made by your tools, because those will show up on your carving. Some people say, "Well, how do you have such clean carvings?" I was asked that at a class one time, and it's sharp tools is the big thing, and good clean cuts. Now I'm going to extend here. I'm going to put in some shadows right there, and then we're going to put in the rim or the edges of the pumpkin, and then we're going to call this good here. But so we're going to put in some exaggerating features right in here. Yeah. Oh, that helped that so much. I know it's kind of hard to see on the camera, but you can see I put these little marks right there. Okay. All right. All right, now you'll notice that some of the marks that I put in here for the ridges of the pumpkin, you can use a soft V, or you can use a U-gouge like a number 3 there, whatever size you would like. But put some distressing marks in there and create those little ridges that a pumpkin has. They don't have to be perfect, you know. They go all the way up. You shorten, put some long ones, put some short ones in, like so, like that there, okay? And just continue to work your way around, okay, the pumpkin there. it's easy for you to go back this way, then do so. Whichever way is the best that you can get the greatest looking cut you can. If the wood tears on you right there like it did, just go right on. Pumpkin, he's going to be kind of rough looking out there. Undercut that there. Undercut that there. Again, like with hair or anything you do, go all the way to the end. All right. Now, let's kind of look him over and see how it looks. Okay. And you know, you can thin this hat down, the rim of the hat, but I wouldn't get it too thin because it could break on you. So just for your information, just be careful there, all right? And you know, you can put some twists and turns and divots in the hat like this here, you know, and create some areas to break it up. Again, because it is an old hat, and might have been old farmer had an old hat. His wife said, you know what, I'm going to use that to decorate that pumpkin there on that front porch. Who knows? And you know, too, if you want, you can put these little, like where the ends of the face, the smile lines would come, if you want little dimples there, whatever. So, all righty. Well, I believe that's it for this guy, old Mr. Bumpkin. He's on the website, and I guarantee you, you'll enjoy this little project, and it'll be a lot of fun and getting ready for fall, and it'd be a good afternoon project for you to try. So just and use whatever colors you like on him or her, or whatever. And but anyway, have fun. All right, so we finished him up, and so I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you again like this project, you can go on our website, vankellycarving.com, and get this rough out. And I hope to see you real soon there. Leave us a comment, and happy carving.